I was traveling and I lost track of you. And I'm going to get your CD about time management for spiritual aspirin. So I'm taking advantage of this great offer. If you could give me some outline, as brief as you like, so it's not repetitious for you. I have a very wandering mind, and it helps me write. I do writing, and I don't want to stop that from happening. My mother does it, and I do it. It's familial or genetic.
Yeah, you were not there on that day, no? When I spoke on.
I will buy that CD.
Yeah. So there I have given some details. It's a very vast subject. There are certain fundamental things related to time management. I told is that number one is this, basically time management is nothing but setting up the priorities of life. Because the time that is with us is very limited. Maximum 100 years we can live. Now, and there is no guarantee that we will live 100 years. That is the maximum that we can live. Some may exceed by 22 years, but some is a limited time. Then every day in our account 86,400 seconds are deposited. We can't get any 1 second more or less. So out of 86,400 seconds, whatever seconds we make use of is ours, rest goes west. So they cannot be carried forward. It's a peculiar bank account. And then next day again we get 86,400 seconds. So try to utilize each and every second. That is number one. And we have to be very economizing in spending our time. They say time is money. But in fact time is not money. Time is more important than money. Because if you lose money you can get back. But the time that is gone can never come back. So time is more important than money, so we have to be very careful. We are very careful not in wasting money, but we are not that much careful in wastage of our time. So, and I had given the equations A, B, C, D, F. A, assess. Assess what are your priorities of life. Assess how much time you are spending in necessary activities, unnecessary activities, less necessary activities. 3. Number 1, topmost priority activities. Second, less necessary activities. Third, unnecessary activities. For example, going to the office is a necessary activity for some. It's a part of the job. Then, doing spiritual practices is a necessary activity for a spiritual aspirant. Second is not so necessary activity. For example, you have to go to a function, social function. If you attend, it's good, it will be better relationship, but if you don't attend, it will not going to harm, not so much. And third is unnecessary activity, watching TV, this and that, entertainment, by which you are not going to get anything, but anyway, it goes like that. So, when you find like that, the choice is very limited because lot of our time goes for eating, sleeping, which we cannot necessarily evil, what they call. So 1/3 of the time goes, minimum 1/3 of our time goes for our regular activities like eating and sleeping. 1/3 goes for attending to our work, which we cannot avoid, going to the office or attending some work. Then out of the rest, 1/3 whatever are left, there it is where we have to play our game. So B is budgeting the items. So how much time you will give to what activity, how much to sleep, how many hours for eating, drinking, how many hours for your work, how many hours for spiritual practices, like that. So if your priority is to get God realization in this very life, then you have to give more time to spiritual practices. But your priority is to earn money, then you have to give more time to your professional life and professional work. If you are a student, you want to get maximum marks in the examination, then your priority will be to study. So maximum time should go for study. Likewise for you have to budget the items. And then again another thing I told is bite as much as you can chew. Don't take up too much of work. Then don't become workaholic, otherwise you will not be able to finish the work. Time management will become very difficult. And the importance of time also we have to understand. So that will make us bite as much as you can chew and avoid this one. The third number is you have to combine activity wherever possible. For example, we are driving. So during driving we are not doing anything. You can put up a CD and listen to the devotional songs or listen to some discourses. Supposing somebody's cooking, something is being cooked in the cooker, you are free, at that time you listen to discourse. You are going traveling, you can read some book at the same time, or bring out a note, write down the points. What are the lecture? Supposing you have to give a lecture. So during the traveling you write down the points. What are the points you are going to say? Likewise, you can make use of your traveling time. Whatever the necessary evils, that time also can be converted by combining a lot of activities. Traveling with reading, supposing you are waiting. Now you cannot read the book while you are waiting in a queue. You can do mantra japam. Repeat the mantra. Take the name of the Lord inside your heart. Likewise, combine the activities if possible. D is delegation. Delegate the activities wherever possible. But there, three things are necessary: whom to delegate, how to delegate, and when to delegate. These three things have to be taken care of. There are some activities. For example, in India, we don't drive. Here everybody drives. There we don't drive. Why should we drive? Because while we are going by car, we are not driving, we can do so many things. We have kept a driver. Here you can't afford, but there we can afford, so we have kept a driver. Similarly, we have got maid servant to do a lot of other activities, manual work and all that, so that we can utilize our time for intellectual activities which cannot be delegated. Supposing I have to prepare a draft for some important letter, I have to prepare myself. But the typing work can be done by other, if you have got a very good typist. Similarly, supposing some manual work, if you have got a maid servant, you can give to them. So, whatever work can be delegated, then that will reduce our load of work and we'll get more time for our spiritual practices or for important work. But then we have to be very careful when to delegate, whom to delegate. The person should be well trained. If not, we have to train that person. Then, how to delegate? That is most important. That is, when you delegate some work, along with that, you must give some authority and empower that person to perform that work. Simply sharing your responsibilities of knowledge, you have to share your power. You have to delegate, empower that person through giving authority. Then that person will be able to bring out the best out of it. E is eliminate. Eliminate the activities which are not important for you or which are not necessary, for which you have to make a study. What are the activities I am doing at present which can be eliminated? Eliminate those activities. That will give you a lot of time. Now, again, see the priorities. After saying the priorities, if my priority is spiritual life, then I have got so many invitations for marriage ceremony, for birthday party. If I go, it will maintain a good relationship. If I do not go, I will lose that relationship. Now, which is more important for me? Realizing God or losing a relationship, human relationship? Losing a divine relationship or a human relationship? In that case, if it is too near and dear one, I will surely go for marriage. If it is not obligatory on my part, I will avoid it. Eliminate that activity. That will give a lot of time. And F is, we have a fixed routine that helps in organizing our activity. That makes our mind attuned and our settling down time decreases. And also they gives you better control over the mind. So Swami Vivekananda says they have a fixed routine. And go fast forward. Because we'll have to be very quick, efficient. Then we'll be able to have better time management. So Darwin said it is the survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest. But Alvin Toffler says no, it is survival of the fastest in the modern century. Survival of the fastest. Alvin Toffler. Alvin Toffler, who wrote so many books, The Future Shock, The Third Wave, very famous popular writer. And he says, for the modern age, if you want to have success, then it is the survival not of the fittest, survival of the fastest. You have to be very fast. So you have to go fast forward. And you have to be efficient. That will give you little better time. And you will be able to manage your time properly. So just nutshell I have given you. In that CD you will get more. Yeah. Any other question? Anybody else? Yeah, you can ask.
Just a little diversion from that. I've never been married. I'm very social, but somehow I didn't start out, my mind didn't start out organized for that. I'm 67 years old. But I'm always thinking now more seriously when I meet people at Vedanta. Will this person organize me or distract me? Just the last couple of years I started thinking that. Is it healthy to think that way or just don't think about it anymore?
What is your age?
67.
Yeah, it is. I think it's a very good age. In India, we can never think of all those things. In India, they get married before 18 sometimes. Though the official age is 18, the girls get married before 18. At the most 25 years. Okay? And still, now the modern trend is to go up to 28, even up to 30. Up to 30 years, the girls remain unmarried, the boys remain unmarried. But that is rare. Normally before 30 they get married. And then there are a few exceptions where they give maybe 31, 35. But normally, why that is told is that the best part of, Holy Mother Sharda Devi said, whatever you want to do, do it before the age of 30. If you want to do pilgrimage, before 30. Because then you will have healthy body to go to the mountain, hill, to this, that place. If you want to do pilgrimage, before 30. If you want to do spiritual practices, before 30. Because then the energy goes down slowly. So when you have got full energy, and you are fully efficient, at that time, try to do the activities which are most important. And all the maximum activities should be done at that time. So, supposing if you want to get married, then also best time is before 30. Why? Because then you can enjoy life. Body is there, with the senses you can enjoy, if you want sense enjoyment. Not only that, supposing you go for children, then when you are relatively not yet faded out, you can bring out children. Then so that by the time you become old, the children are well settled and they can look after you. That is what they do in India. Of course, it is not always, does not click nowadays, but so far it is going on. Their family values are very well kept, even now. The children, when they grow up, by the time the parents they get retired, the children look after their parents. It's a joint family. Now many families, they are now getting separated and the old age homes are starting there also. But still, on the whole, there are very good family values are kept. Now first of all, the question is whether one should get married or not. What is the necessity of marriage? That is the most important question. Now according to our Indian scriptures, we say that marriage is a must. It's a social institution. Why it was started is that we had in our Vedic times 4 ashramas. Brahmacharya ashram, Grihastha ashram, Vanaprastha ashram and Sannyas ashram. First 25 years Brahmacharya ashram, when you are celibate and you lead the life of a student. Rest 25 years, next 25 years, householder life. When you get married, we get children, enjoy the life. At the same time, for a householder, there are so many social commitments. With the householder only, the whole society was standing in stands. The householders, because they earn money, some percentage they give to religious organizations. The religious organizations can also maintain themselves. Then they have got certain obligations to the animals, to the birds, to their parents. So a householder was given all those types of duties. He was the person who was holding the whole society. And then the real purpose of marriage in India, they say, is that wife is not called wife, she is called Sahadharmini. She is the person, and in India, for everybody, a goal of life has been kept as manifesting the divinity, or reaching God, or having God realization, or getting infinite joy, infinite happiness and peace at the end of the life. That is the purpose for which we have been born as human beings. As a human being, our purpose of life is different from animals. Animals, they live and then they eat and then die. So in our scripture it is told, Ahar Nidra Bhaya Maithunancha Samanya Metat Pashuvi Naranam Dharmo hi Tesham Adhiko Vishesha Dharmena Hina Pashuvi Samana. 4 things are common between animals and man. Ahar, they also take food, we also take food. Nidra, they also sleep, we also sleep. Bhai, they also get afraid, we also get afraid. And they also procreate, the human beings also procreate, they produce children. These 4 things are common. Then what is the thing which is special with the human beings? So there it is called religion, spirituality. It is that which differentiates man from him. So there it is told, the purpose of a human being is, there is a purpose in human life. So this is the most important question. If you really want to go deep into your problem, you have to basically strike a solution to the question, to the problem, why have I come to this earth? What is the purpose of my life? Then, for meeting that purpose of life, whether you should get married or not is a different thing. But what is the purpose of life? What is the aim of our life? So, it has been told that the purpose of human life is different from animals and birds and other species. In our scriptures it is told, out of 84 lakhs of species, that is 8.4 millions of species, only human beings have got access to infinite knowledge. They can get. They can have self-realization. They can realize God. Only human beings, no other species. This is the old scripture said. Now the modern science says that there are not 84 lakh species, there are 125 lakh species. That is 12.5 millions of species. After all, it's not much different. Out of 12.5 millions of species, only human beings have got SQ. IQ is available with all the species including computers. EQ, emotional quotient, is available only with a few species. And SQ, spiritual quotient, spiritual intelligence, is available only with the human species out of 12.5 million species. So that is a special prerogative of human beings. That is why a human being's aim is to realize God, is to manifest the divinity, is to get emancipation, is to get self-realization, is to get nirvana, is to get infinite joy, happiness and peace. Whatever you may call, these are all different names. There is an ultimate aim of life. And that is why that will come, we will get the aim of life by our power of discrimination. So, there's a beautiful book by Teilhard de Chardin. He was a Christian father. But his books did not go well with the Christian theology. Whatever is written in the Bible, some controversy was there. So his books were not allowed to be published. But they were published posthumously after the death of Teilhard de Chardin. One of the very good books by Teilhard de Chardin is The Phenomena of Man. And there he raises the question, what is the difference between a man and animal? And the answer was, intelligence. Men are more intelligent. Human beings are more intelligent. He said, not necessarily so. And we find example. You have put some milk in the kitchen. But a cat comes and steals away the milk. Next day morning you find the milk is not in the kitchen. Why? The cat has taken the milk. So next day what do? You hide the milk in some other corner of your house, not in the kitchen, and next day morning you find the cat has taken milk from there also. So who is more intelligent? So cat has also got intelligence. Animals have got intelligence. Then what is the difference between a man and an animal?
Religion.
So he says beautifully, while a man knows what he knows, an animal does not know what it knows. A man knows what he knows. An animal does not know what it knows. Cat knows how to steal the milk, but cat does not know whether I should have the knowledge of stealing the milk, whether it is good or bad. But man knows how to steal the milk. Man also knows it is bad to steal the milk. So that power of discrimination is what differentiates a man and man. With that power of discrimination, one has to strike that SQ. With the development of SQ, what is the purpose of my life? So according to Indian scripture, the purpose of life is to realize God before we die. Now, if that is the purpose of life, there are two ways of doing it. I remember a very funny thing. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he was the president of India. Before he became president, I wrote to him that we'd like you to inaugurate one of the school buildings. So, there was a very big earthquake in Gujarat. That was in 2001, 26 January. So this is our custom. Very first day we start our relief work, disaster relief. We start immediately. So we did a lot of relief work, and as a part of rehabilitation project, 81 school buildings. They were government school buildings. They were all destroyed. We rebuilt them, and 6 colonies containing so many houses for the poor people, their houses had been demolished, had been destroyed. So we constructed 6 colonies and 81 school buildings as a part of earthquake rehabilitation project. At the time I was in Porbandar. Porbandar also we have an ashrama in the same historic villa, Bhojeshwar Bungalow, where Swami Vivekananda stayed for more than 4 months as the guest of the then administrator Shankar Pandav Pandit. Was handed over by the government of Gujarat to Ramakrishna mission. There we have got our center. So that was started in 12 June 97. So in 2001 this earthquake came. So we did the relief work, and 37 school buildings out of the whole Gujarat were constructed in Porbandar district. One of the school buildings was to be inaugurated by Dr. Kalam. So I wrote to him. He said, I am very busy, but I will try. Then I heard that he has come to Rajkot. Rajkot is a place from Porbandar. It will be about 100 miles. About 100 miles. So, Dr. Kala, I heard that he was to come to Rajkot for some function of a Christian college. The Christ College. That was the name of the college, was Christ College. And that was 25th December. Then I thought he is not replying me properly by letter. I should give him personal invitation. So I went to Rajkot from Porbandar, sent a message. I have come all the way from Porbandar to Rajkot to extend personal invitation to you. Now you let me know where should I meet you, at the airport or at Christ College. He sent me a reply immediately, Swamiji, you are a monk. You are a great person. You should not come to meet me. I should come to meet you. Very humble person. And really, without our invitation, he came to our ashrama in Rajkot to meet me. And there, we were just showing him round the exhibition. Suddenly he asked, Swamiji, they are telling me that you can't become a monk. Why? Because you are not married. He is not married. He is unmarried. So, I was perplexed, because actually speaking, in our Ramakrishna order, only who are unmarried, they only can become monks. Normally, those who are unmarried, they only can become monks. Married people, we do not advocate for becoming members, what will happen to their wives and children? Once you have taken up householder life, you finish the duties of a householder. But I could find out what is wrong thing has happened. So immediately I replied, you see Dr. Kalam, and he is getting late for going to the airport, so I have to give very quick reply. You see Dr. Kalam, there are two types of flights. One is a hopping flight. Hopping flight is Brahmacharya Ashram, then Grihastha Ashram, then Vanaprastha Ashram, then Sannyas Ashram. So if you want to go for a hopping flight, first you have to become householder, get married, householder, then you become Vanaprastha, then finally monastic life. But there is a direct flight from Brahmacharya Ashram direct to Sannyas Ashram, and we the monks of Ramakrishna order have taken a direct flight. Oh, I will also take direct flight. He told me. So ultimately the goal is for monastic life. So where we have advised, in our scripture is right, either you take up a direct flight or you take a hopping flight. Now preferably in our order the age limit is 30 years, because afterwards it becomes very difficult to adjust with the monastic life. You got there certain rules, regulations, when particularly you are in a community life. So we say monastic life preferably, when in our order we do not take monastics above 30 years. Above 18 and below 30 normally. But in any case, we say either you adopt a direct flight or you adopt a hopping flight. When you are taking hopping flight, first 25 years, life of a celibate, student life. Next 25 years, the life of a householder, when you live with your wife, have children, enjoy life, at the same time do some. But in our Indian context, wife is called Sahadharmini. What is meaning? A person who helps you in following the path of religion and spirituality, taking you to the goal of life. Now, that is the real ideal marriage, where both husband and wife, they are going towards the path of spirituality, and they both help each other in reaching the goal of life. That is an ideal marriage. In our own times, Shri Ramakrishna came to establish both the paths, monastic path as well as the married path. So what did he do? He lived the life of a monk, at the same time he lived the life of an ideal householder, because he wanted to set an example. So what did he do? He married Sharda Devi. But he did not have any relationship as we have in husband and wife. No physical relationship. Not only that, when Sharda Devi asked, when she came to Dakshineshwar in Calcutta, you must read the life of Ramakrishna. Wonderful. Wonderful. Ramakrishna and disciple by Christopher Sherwood. Beautiful book. Christopher Sherwood was here for some time, a long time here in this very center. There is a beautiful book. I recommend that book to many, because he was a novelist. So this book is not a novel. This book is all based on facts. But the presentation is so beautiful, you feel as if reading a novel. He starts with the sentence, this is the story of a phenomenon. This is the first sentence. I will not call him an avatar, incarnation or a great saint. You take in whatever light. I will simply present the facts of his life. And there, the facts are presented. But when Shri Ramakrishna got married at the age of 26 years, Sharda Devi, his wife, was only 5 years. It was a very strange type of marriage. It was a divine marriage. So it's beyond our comprehension. Now when Sharda Devi grew up, she became the age of 18 years. Then she was teased by the other girls of her village, Jairambati. Oh, your husband is not calling you like that. And he has become mad, he is mad with divine intoxication and all that. And so she felt very bad. No, I must go and I must serve him. Even if he has become mad, I should serve him. So then she told her father, and father took her to Calcutta. In Dakshineshwar, the temple, Sri Ramakrishna was there as the worshipper of Mother Kali. He was staying there. And then Sharda Devi went there. Sri Ramakrishna welcomed her. And then took care of her because when he came to know that she was not well. Now, after that, Sri Ramakrishna asked her a question. May I ask you a question? Yes. Why have you come? Have you come here to drag me to the path of worldliness, to the world? You see, this body has been married to you. So on this body you have got full rights. If you say, I will lead an ordinary householder's life and I will have a physical relationship and also I will produce children, if you like. But if you ask me, I don't want to go for any ordinary relationship. I am so much imbued with the ideas of divine. I want to stay in the divine plane and I want to have pure relationship with you. But if you are, I will have. Because you have the right. Because I have been legally married to you. Sharda Devi replied, no. I have not come to drag you to the path of worldliness. No. But I have got one request. You are following the path of spirituality. You also take me along with you in that same path of spirituality. And Sri Ramakrishna was very much pleased because that was his desire, to lead a very pure life, immaculate life. So he became very happy. And then Sri Sharda Devi stayed there in Dakshineshwar and used to serve him, and also his mother-in-law, that is the mother of Sri Ramakrishna, was also there, Dakshineshwar. After a few days, Sharda Devi asked a question. May I ask you a question? Yes. Will you tell me truth? Yes, I will tell you the truth. Now truly tell me, how do you look upon me? Sri Ramakrishna said, to tell you the truth, you know, there is my mother in Nahabat Khana, that is his own mother, and there is the divine mother in the temple. Same divine mother who is there in Nahabat Khana is now in front of me. Truly I tell you, I look upon you as nothing but divine mother. And not only that, you orally told, on 4th of June 1872, that was the day of Falharani Kali Puja, a special day dedicated to the worship of Mother Kali. He told his attendants to make special arrangement of worship in his own room, and whole night he worshipped Mother Kali, Shodashi Puja they call it, a special puja. But the deity, there was no image. He told his wife Sharda Devi to take the seat of the Divine Mother. And whole night he worshipped her. And at the end, he prostrated before her. And then chanted the same mantra that are chanted at the end of the worship of the Divine Mother. Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvata Sadhike Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Same chant mother, he chanted the mantras, and then both went into superconscious state. After that, the mother of Sharda Devi, who was staying in Jairambati village where Sharda Devi was born, she came to know about it. And she became very much morose. And she started weeping, oh my God. So far he was telling my daughter as mother. Now he has started worshipping her as mother. Now there is no further possibility of his having any relationship, physical relationship with her. And so my daughter Sharda will have no children. Naturally. When Sri Ramakrishna heard about it, he told, my dear mother-in-law, don't worry. Afterwards, your daughter Sharda Devi will have so many children, and they will be all calling her mother, mother, mother so much that she will get fed up with this world. But she never got fed up. But this actually had happened. After the passing of Sri Ramakrishna, all the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna looked upon Sharda Devi as their mother. Then all the disciples of Swami Vivekananda, Sister Nivedita, Miss MacLeod, all of them looked upon as mothers, and then so many came. Now today, millions of people look upon Sharda Devi as their own mother, because mother has said, Sharda Devi told, I am your real mother. what type of mother you are. I am not only the wife of your teacher, no. I am not only a mother for calling's sake, no. I am not your stepmother. I am your real mother. And you are the mother of all? Yes. Even of the animals? Yes. Even of the birds? Yes. And really, even the cats, the cows, the parrots, they all looked upon mother. They would just call mother when they were in difficulty, and mother would go and run to the help. And mother said, Sharda Devi, I am your real mother. Whenever you are in distress, just remember you have got a mother. What a great assurance. And then she said, I am the mother of the virtuous, and I am the mother of even those who are not virtuous. I am the mother of the virtuous, but I am also the mother of those who are not virtuous. Not only that, even dacoit. There was a Muslim dacoit, Amjad. Sharda Devi loved him also, gave him love. There was a woman, the young woman was weeping. Sharda Devi was there at the time in Calcutta, living in Calcutta, and she was in Udbodhan Bhavan. And she heard somebody sobbing and weeping. So a young woman was weeping outside. Then Sharda Devi said, who is weeping there? Please come in. Then that girl started weeping more. No, mother, I cannot show you my face. I have spoiled my character. I have become impure. I can't come inside. Then Sharda Devi at that time of worshipping, she left her worship. She came out, just embraced her. Said, my dear daughter, don't worry. Now you have realized what is good and what is bad. Forget about whatever has happened. Start a new life, a pure life. Come inside. She brought her inside. She gave her prasad. She gave her some food. She gave her mantra diksha, initiation. She told, if you take the name of the Lord, then millions of births, the sins of millions of births, they get washed away. Take the name of the Lord. She got a new life. Sharda Devi never looked upon anybody. So she was the mother of all. In nutshell, what I want to say is that Shri Ramakrishna Sharda Devi came to give this ideal of what can be the most ideal marriage. But Shri Ramakrishna said, what I have done, you will not be able to do. You do at least 1 anna. I have done 16 anna, you do 1 anna. So 1/16th part you do. So we are supposed to follow his example if we want to have a householder life. So these are the two things. Now, the purpose of life is to realize God. For realization of God, you have to have a companion, Swadharmini, who will help you in following the spiritual path. So if you get a companion, a suitable companion, who will be able to help you in reaching the goal of life, well and good. But always remember, there are always two sides of a situation. They say in Hindi there is a proverb, Dilli ka laddu, khaye wo bhi pachta hai, na khaye wo bhi pachta hai. There is a sweet that is available in Delhi. If you eat, then also you will repent. If you don't eat, then also you will repent. So if you get married, you will repent. If you don't get married, you will repent. This is what happens because there are always two sides of a coin. So if you are, first of all, find out what is the purpose of your life. What is the aim of life? If the aim of life is to have God realization, if the aim of life is to have spirituality, then then you find out a companion who would be able to, then you find out whether this goal can be attained by remaining alone or by together. In general, we will say, this is our Indian tradition is that it's very difficult afterwards to adjust at this elderly age. So, rather than going for a marriage, you may have some sort of, assistance with some human assistance you require. That's a different thing. But why to enter into a relationship? If you really want genuine spirituality, relationship means another entanglement, attachment. And attachment will always bring misery. Attachment is the source of all our pleasures, Swami Vivekananda said, and attachment is the source of all our misery. So entering into a relationship means inviting problem, inviting responsibilities. When she will get sick, then you have to look after her. And then so many other entanglements, and then so many other connections, and so many other relationships. Of course. So this all you have to take. This is, if you take one, you have to take, if you take some facilities, you have to take responsibilities. So that is for you to judge, number one, what is the goal of life. Number two, how you can achieve best your goal of life. We normally say that either you become a householder or you become a monk. Either of the two you should do. So if you can adopt a monastic life, that is best. That is best. If you can lead a pure life and a monastic life, then why to invite problems? Now at this age, very little time is left for spiritual practices. So don't squander your energy in inviting new relationship, adjusting, and then again quarreling, and again going for divorce, and again going for getting and engaging to a lawyer for filing a suit, and all that. Unless there is some special purpose, don't invite problems. And if you can take up a monastic life externally, well and good. If not, internally, if you can lead a pure life, nothing like that. But if you feel, no, and at this age, I think now you don't have any sort of, requirements of so many requirements that a young person has got a lot of other requirements, which you do not have. Then what you now require is a simple type of, most important. I understand your mind. What you require is a support, mental support. Sometimes you get loneliness, Loneliness is a big problem nowadays with the old people. But there are two ways of doing that. One is to have a human companion. Second is to have a divine companion. So if we can give more time to satsang, and if we can give more time to reading of the books, devotional songs and spiritual practices, and developing a love towards the Lord, then with that Lord, with the relationship to the Lord, you will not feel that vacuum which you are feeling now. Or, I do not know, but some people they feel vacuum. We feel vacuum. All of us feel vacuum because we want to love and we want to receive love. We want to give love. So, but when we love a human being, sometimes we do not receive. Many youngsters they feel given 10 kg of love, I have received 9 kg of love. They become miserable. This is the thing. It's very difficult to get same amount of love from others. But if we love the Lord, 1 kg if you give, you receive 10 kg. Shri Ramakrishna says if you go one step towards God, God comes 10 steps to you. Here, you go 10 steps to that person, he goes away 10 steps. He or she. Sometimes we happen like that. And then you feel miserable. And so both ways you feel suffer. If you get too much attached, separation will bring misery. And if you don't get attached, if you are quarreling, then also it will give misery. So that is why it's for you to decide. I have given you a background, but I will suggest read the life of Ramakrishna and Sarada Devi. Beautiful. And in the background that of life, and the background of what is the purpose of life, you decide what is the rest of the amount of the number of years, how do you want to spend. Okay? This is what I have given in detail because this is a big problem I have seen everywhere. When I went to Europe, many parents they told me, my son has become 40 years old, he doesn't want to marry. Another person told, my daughter has become 40 years old, she is very well employed, she comes to weekend from Birmingham to Coventry to say hello, very nice. But she says, I don't want to marry. Then I asked them, why don't you want to marry? Then they said, we don't want to burn our fingers. Marry means burning fingers? Yes. Many of our friends are married and after 2-3 years, maximum 4 years, they have to get separated, divorce, and the cost of divorce is more than a marriage because you have to employ a lawyer. Why to go for marriage and again divorce and again marriage? But then animals are not marrying, why should we marry? That means you want to become animals? No. That Indian people cannot understand. Indian people say, no, we are not animals. We have a social life, we have a noble life, we must go for marriage. With all its necessary evils, we must go for marriage, but try to make it more and more spiritualized. And how to do spiritualize that marriage relationship? Shri Ramakrishna has told. Shri Ramakrishna Sarada Devi in our age have demonstrated how to convert into an ideal relationship. So that's it.